In my past videos I took a look at the iPhone 7 Plus and a couple of videos were made on the iPhone 5s as well. So I did promise that I will be making a comparison of the iPhone 7 Plus and the iPhone 5s. So what is up guys, this is Zaki here, and today we'll be taking a look at the full comparison of iPhone 5s and the iPhone 7 Plus side by side. So without much further ado, I think we should get started. The iPhone 5s was released a very long ago. It was honestly the only small form factor phone released by Apple before the release of the iPhone SE. The iPhone 5s was a great phone released by Apple with fair amount of specs, which also provided very smooth, flawless performance. The phone had an amazing design, and that was the main reason for the release of the iPhone SE. When it comes to the iPhone 7 Plus, there are a lot of changes. From starting to the ending, there are a lot of new pumped up things. The design is more like the iPhone 6s, but the dual camera is a game changer. Most people didn't change phone because they like the small form factor of the iPhone 5s, but the game changer, the iPhone 7 Plus's camera. If you are interested in watching full comparison of the iPhone 5s and the SE and much more other videos, then make sure to check the description box down below and also the top right corner of the screen. The iPhone 5s is a brushed aluminum casing with shiny chamfered edges, whereas the iPhone SE has a much more carved metallic finish. The iPhone 5s was and still is one of the most beautifully designed phones by Apple. Most people will be thrilled to learn the fact that the iPhone 5s will always continue its legacy. But if you are someone who loves big phone, then the iPhone 7 Plus is just awesome. The iPhone 7 Plus doesn't have a headphone jack, but don't get mad though. Apple does include a lightning port earphone. Speaking about the earphone though, do keep in mind that they are not any kind of super cool earphone, but the quality isn't bad. If you really care about audio and prefer high bass and clean sound, then let's be honest that the earphones won't be capable of giving you that. The earphone adapter is magic for you in this case if you want to use any kind of previous high-end earphones that you own. But remind the fact that these are very small and you can end up losing them very easily. But you also have other choices of choosing Bluetooth earbud, and even more interesting is Apple now has its own AirPods. But wait a minute, don't forget to notice their crazy price point. Then what about the plus point of this phone? Comparing to the previous iPhone speaker, the bottom rung speaker is way better, providing you an excellent sound with stereo functionality. But then again, there are some more changes to the phone. One weird thing is the home button. It is not all those traditional home buttons used in other iPhones, but instead it is a piece of glass which stops working when you shut the phone down. But when you have the phone on, it gives you an illusion which gives you that feeling of pressing the home button. After all these complaints of no headphone jack, there is one advantage of that thing. The iPhone 7 Plus is now completely waterproof. In fact, it is really goodly waterproof. I mean, I haven't checked it though because I don't want my phone to be destroyed, but really, it is waterproof. If you want to check some videos out, I will leave them in the description box down below. I don't mind actually doing that. Yeah. Getting a little into the specs, the iPhone 7 Plus is running an Apple A10 Profusion CPU with 3 gigs of RAM with an 2900 mAh battery and a resolution of 1080 by 1920 with option of 32, 128, 256 GB. To be honest, I had no problem with the performance of the phone. Using it for a while now, this phone did its job really well. Moving between apps and high-end softwares, this phone had no problem with it. The next improvement is the battery. The iPhone 7 Plus lasts a day with regular use and has no such problem. Speaking about the iOS, with a very solid improvement, the iOS looks really very sweet. If you haven't checked out my previous beta version of iOS 11 and all that, make sure you do it. I will leave it in the description box down below, also the top right corner of the screen. I have noticed some lags and crashes here and there, but not to forget that these are some of the fastest phones out in the market, so whatever. Another part which is significant improvement is the iPhone 7 Plus camera. The iPhone 7 Plus now has a new brighter camera with a 28mm f1.8 aperture and 56mm f2.8 with 2x optical zoom, quad LED, dual tone flash, and some other cool stuff. The camera records 2160p at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 3060 120 frames per second, and 720p at 240 frames per second, which is very similar to most DSLRs. I mean, let me be honest, it's really a lot better than most DSLRs. You can like choose the Sony A7S, the Canon 1DX. You can go for other DSLRs out there, and really this thing is pretty impressive. The improvement in color is insane, and the telephoto lens at the back allows you 2 times zoom compared to the main camera, which allows you to shoot close objects without even being near it. And I will surely do a camera test of this thing, so yeah, stay tuned. The iPhone 5s has a 4-inch IPS LCD screen with a resolution of 1136 by 640 and a screen brightness of 326 ppi. The iPhone 6s has the Apple's A7 processor with 1 GB of RAM and storage options of up to 64 GB. The A7 processor is a killing beast in this case. Gaming in this device was flawless, and the overall performance there is nothing to complain about. The iPhone 5s has an 8 megapixel rear camera with f2.2 aperture and records video at 1080p Full HD with slow motion at 720p. The camera has a very nice noticeable difference, but hey, you've got to consider the price of this thing and the overall spec. The iPhone 5s packed a 1560 mAh battery, which is taken over by the iPhone 7 Plus without any doubt. Well, after all these minutes of watching and being in this video, you might be thinking, what do I do? To be honest, the iPhone 5s and the iPhone 7 Plus is just day and night. But if you are in a budget, then I would highly recommend you to go for iPhone 5s. The iPhone 5s is a phone that is still supported by Apple, and not to be amazed that it has a crazy looking design. However, I have done full reviews on my channel, so just make sure to go check it out. It's on the top right corner of the screen as well. However, if you still want to be in a budget and actually make the best out of phones, I really do budget smartphone reviews, so you can subscribe and put the notification bell on so that you are notified when I am uploading videos. You can check out the Huawei GR3, which is also known as Honor 4. Huawei Honor 4, you can go and check it out. So yeah, that's basically it for today, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, then smash the like button. If you want to see more contents coming up like this, then subscribe to the channel. All my social medias are linked in the description box down below, including my website. I'll see you in the next one. This is Akira from Zars Tech. Goodbye. Peace.